Good morning. I promised not to talk for 30 minutes this time. I just have a quick PSA or public service announcement that I really need to share. I went to Lunch and Learn a week and a half ago, and I've seen this happen to several Columbia businesses and even some personal friends. So I just really quickly want to remind people, please be careful about the emails that you're opening. The ransomware attacks are massively on the rise. We're even seeing this happen to private individuals, so not just businesses, but I've actually talked to a couple friends that they've had ransomware wind up hitting their local computers. And ransomware, just a quick definition, is a virus infects your computer, but instead of like messing stuff up and showing you ads, they find all of your files, all of your photos, any videos you've recorded, all of Word documents, anything on your computer. They find all those files, they lock them down to where they're encrypted and you can't open them, and then they send you a ransom note essentially and say, hey, give us money, typically Bitcoin or something like that, and we'll give you the way to unlock your files. So you think about all the pictures you've taken over the years that are digital and everything. If those are just on your computer, you open the wrong email, or even if you go to the wrong website, then boom, all your files are encrypted and you don't have access to any of them. So be very, very careful about those emails. Be very careful about the websites that you're going to. Even if you get an email that looks like it's coming from your bank or PayPal or any legitimate source, even if it's a friend of yours, they send you an email and you weren't expecting an attachment from them, or they say, hey, check this out and click this link, just follow up with them and say, hey, did you actually send this, before you click on that link. It takes 2 extra seconds and it helps you with your security. I just got one yesterday that looked very, very much like it belonged to my credit card company, but once I read through everything, I'm like, wait, this doesn't seem right. And one of the best ways that you can avoid these kind of malfeasances is if you get an email from your bank, your credit card company, something like that, go directly to their website. So that's exactly what I did. So I got an activation link. My credit card is Chase, whatever. I have to activate my 5% discount or 5% rebate. And so the one that I got looked legitimate, but the trick was I had just done that a couple days prior, and they don't ever tell me that after. So if I hadn't have done that, either way, what I would have done is signed into the Chase website, gone through their system where I know I have to username and password log in, and then follow up to make sure that I'm clicking on the right link. Don't click on the one in the email. So that's ransomware. Another way to avoid this is, you know what, even perfect security people still can have issues where you think, oh, I don't click on the wrong email, I don't do anything. Well, you never know. You Google something and you wind up going to a website, boom, it downloads something and you're in trouble. All your files are encrypted. Backups are so critical. If you're not doing backups in your personal life and in your business life, then you are in terrible shape. So there are 2 that I really like. The one that I use personally, again, I don't make any money off of this. This is not my core business. I've just seen this happen to so many people in just the past 3 weeks that I just wanted to remind all my friends and family and clients to please be doing this. It's so simple and it is not expensive at all. So the 2 backup providers that I like the most are CrashPlan, which is just crashplan.com, and Backblaze. So like back behind you and blaze like a fire. These are 2 of the biggest in the industry. I've been using CrashPlan for a long time. I love it. One of the best things that they do is they allow you to back up external hard drives. So we have several extra hard drives that we back stuff up to, and then that's a redundant system on so I have my main computer, I have backup hard drives, but guess what? Those ransomware clients, they find your regular computer hard drive, and then they also find all the attached device drives, and they'll wipe them all out. And so the online backup, what's great about CrashPlan that I like, and I think Backblaze does the same thing, just to give you a couple options, are they do backups where they actually store different versions of your files. So let's say today I get hit, and it hits all my stuff, but maybe I'm away from my computer, and maybe I don't catch it for the first day or 2, and then I get the notice. Well, with CrashPlan, I can go back and back up all my files from, say, 3 days ago or 4 days ago, and it runs every single night, so I'm going to lose at most like a day's worth of work. Well, that's a lot easier to overcome than a month or a year, or you have no backups. Again, something else, if you just don't like online backups or something like that, go to Walmart, go to Best Buy, wherever, go to Amazon and buy an external hard drive and just set a reminder on your calendar, like once a week, once a month, whatever, especially if you're backing up your photos from your phone or digital camera to your computer and you don't want to lose all those memories. Just plug the hard drive in, back up all of your stuff onto that hard drive, then unplug it. So if you ever get that notice like, hey, you've been hit, then you're like, you know what, that's fine. I just did all my backups a month ago. It's going to suck to lose the data from in that span, but you cannot get that hard drive infected if it's plugged in and then unplugged. So again, that's a really inexpensive thing. I mean, if you buy a really big hard drive, like a 4 terabyte hard drive right now, which should store most of what you've got, it should store pretty much everything you have, unless you're like a photographer. Then I mean, they're less than $100. It's really quick. It's really easy. So just take a second, make sure you're doing those backups. Again, be very, very careful about the emails that you're opening. I don't want to see this happen to any more friends. It's just, it sucks. And so especially if you're a business, you can't control what your employees are doing, right? Or your contractors or whatever. An employee might not be as well educated as what you are. Just remind your people, I do not want you opening emails that you don't know for a fact this person sent you a message. So we talk about ransomware. Those cyber attacks are on the rise. Another thing is, I'll share a link in the comment section here in a second. I actually wrote this for the Tom Bradley show, so I'm just going to share this in the comments right now, and I'll update the other one as well. It is so easy to do secure passwords. There is zero excuse anymore for you to be using the same password everywhere. Because here's the thing, if somebody hacks one database, they find your username, they find your password, then they can go to dozens of other websites if you're using the same one. The software that I like to use, again, totally free. I don't make any money off of this. This is just a PSA. I just want to help anybody that I can in this regard. The software that I use is called KeePass. There's a version for it for Windows. I believe there's a Macintosh version as well, so that you can use it on Android and iPhone as well. The way the system works is it's one file that holds all of your passwords. So you only have to remember a password for one thing, and that's to open the KeePass file. So make that very secure. Don't use that password anywhere else, and then you don't have to be overwhelmed because you only have to remember that password for that one thing. What you do is that's 1028-bit encrypted, which means it's going to either take a hacker 20 years of trying to hack your file, or it'll take the NSA a little bit longer because they have gigantic servers to throw at it. Either way, it's really well encrypted. It's very secure. What you do is you have KeePass installed on your computer. You save your KeePass file into Dropbox. You have Dropbox installed on your phone, your laptop, anywhere else that you're going to use it. So that file gets synchronized everywhere that you go. What you do is you remember the one password to KeePass, you add, and then KeePass uses, they can generate like 32, 48, as big of a password as you want. It's unique to every website that you use. I never use the same password for 2 websites, never. And all of the passwords I use are like 32 characters long. Whatever the maximum number of characters that the website allows me to use, that is what I use for KeePass. They generate the password for you and store it in there. So you put in what your username is, you give it a name. So I'm like, this is my Gmail password. Here's my username. Here's the password for it. And those passwords are huge and almost uncrackable. But again, the best thing is God forbid that website gets hacked, they get that password, well then they're going to try that username on different websites, but guess what? You're using now unique passwords everywhere, and they can't access any of your other information. It is so important, especially to have very secure passwords for your email address, as that's what most people, what most hackers are going to go after, because then they can verify all the other websites back to your email to say, oh, forgot password. And then also, to have like a swipe password and stuff on your phone. We're seeing more and more phone attacks that are happening where if somebody can get close to your phone, if you don't have a screen lock on it, you can just not be paying attention to it for a couple minutes. They swipe up, they download something onto your phone, boom, they're stealing your passwords and monitoring your stuff. Put a swipe pattern, put a type password, something. It'll take you 2 extra seconds each time you unlock your phone, and it will dramatically help your security. The last thing I'll talk about is 2-factor authentication. This is a little more complicated, and I don't have an article for this, but it's the next step up in security. So I think I've given you guys enough to think about. Just super be careful about what emails you're opening. If you get an email that you think is from your bank, your credit card, anything at all, I mean, even if it's Facebook saying, click this link to verify, don't trust it. Go to the website itself. Go to Facebook.com. Go to your bank's website. Log in, and then you know that you're going to be in the right place. Don't download anything unless you know for certain that the person who sent it to you is the person that's trying to give you something you expected the file, et cetera, et cetera. And then just use KeePass or find another a password. LastPass is another one, but they just had a security breach here recently. I love KeePass because the file is on your computer, and yes, it's stored in Dropbox, but it's not, your passwords are not stored on a hackable server, right? So LastPass, one of the issues they got into was they store your passwords on their server. Yes, they're encrypted, but if their system gets hacked, all of your passwords are available. So KeePass is awesome. I even put my kids' like social security numbers and just all kinds of data in there because then I know it's safe. And if I'm on my phone and I have to log into a website that I've logged into my computer before, I just open that password file, I copy and paste it out of there, and I've got some huge password that's almost uncrackable. So these are all just some quick tips. Share this with your friends and family. Please be careful of the emails you open. Get a backup software installed as quickly as possible. It costs, maybe 10, 15, 20 bucks a month at the most. Most of the options are going to be like $5 a month. Back up your stuff because that fee is almost nothing compared to if you lost every photograph that you've ever taken of your significant other, of your kids. All your vacation memories could be lost. Just go get the software solution and just get it done. Ellis, Benus with Floating Axe Technologies. If you have any questions, this is not my core business. We focus on digital marketing and helping you grow your business in that respect. But I'm very technically proficient, as most of you know, and it just bothers me that I've seen so many people be affected by this. And it's not just big businesses, guys. Even if you are a one-man, one-woman shop, you could still get hit with this, and it could shut down your business. I mean, it could be very, very debilitating. So tell other people about this. Make sure that you're talking to your friends and family to say, hey, do you have a lock screen on your phone? Do you have secure passwords? Stop, for the love of everything that's holy, using the same password everywhere. Don't use your anniversary date. Don't use all of this stuff that's so easy to social engineer, track down, and use. So just take a minute. Put some good security pieces in place. It will cost you almost nothing. So you'll have to pay for CrashPlan or Backblaze, whatever backup solution. KeePass is free. I've shared the article in here. It'll just take you a few extra minutes, and it will save you a lifetime of pain and frustration. So sorry, I meant to only talk for a couple minutes, but there's a lot to deal with here. So if anybody has any questions, message me, email me, whatever you want to do, and I hope I've saved somebody some trouble today. So have a great day. I hope the rest of your week goes awesome.